He committed a felony. He is a danger out there in the community.
On Thursday, Hawaii County Police tracked down their suspect after he allegedly shot two of their fellow officers the night before. Hawaii Island residents were relieved to hear the manhunt had ended. Shortly before 3:30 p.m., a team of 20 law enforcement officers found 31-year-old Keaka D. Martin hiding at this home on East Palai Street in Hilo. But he fired one last shot before he was taken into custody.
And he shot, it's a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and he was placed under arrest.
Hawaii County Police Chief Harry Kubajiri held this rare news conference on Thursday night, recapping the last 24 hours. It all began on Wednesday evening, around 7:44 p.m., when police responded to a report of several gunshots heard in the area of Kilauea Avenue near the Wailoa River in Hilo. At about 8:52 p.m., while checking parked vehicles in the area, officers observed the man they now believe to be Martin hiding under a parked vehicle. When they approached him, Martin shot both officers in the lower extremities. Martin fled. According to the chief, both officers remain at Hilo Medical Center in stable condition.
Both officers who sustained injuries as a result of gunshot wounds have underwent surgery and is doing or recovering well. In fact, just after 5 p.m. as part of their physical therapy, one officer was actually walking. Both officers received injuries in the lower extremities, and the second officer was undergoing surgery, a second surgery for the same injuries. And I'm not able to inform you on his condition other than he was doing well and he's in stable condition.
The names of the injured officers are not being released. Chief Kubajiri then went on to explain the events that led to Martin's capture.
As a result of last night's shooting, we detectives from our criminal investigation section, along with members from the FBI and the Department of Public Safety, conducted follow-up investigations into trying to identify the suspect responsible for the shooting of the two officers last night. At approximately 10:45 a.m. this morning, we received information through investigation on the possible identity of a suspect, and the investigators were trying to confirm this. At approximately 1:20 this afternoon, Keaka Daniel Martin, male 31 of Hilo, was identified as the responsible person for shooting both officers last evening. Once Mr. Martin was identified as a suspect, follow-up investigations uncovered that a possible location in Hilo where Mr. Martin was staying. Mr. Martin was staying off of East Palai Street in South Hilo at a relative's residence, and this was not known to the resident or to the resident who resided there, his relative, until sometime, I would say just after noon today. After discovering that Mr. Martin was residing or at the residence, his relative did report to police the location of Mr. Martin. At 3:30 p.m. this afternoon, members of our special response team responded to the residence on East Palai Street and announced their presence there. After announcing the presence, several times, they heard a single gunshot from within the residence. Shortly after the gunshot was heard, a male party exited the residence who was identified as a visiting relative who was also staying at the residence. This relative informed us that the suspect, Kiaka Martin, had shot himself once in the abdomen chest area and was within the residence itself. Shortly thereafter, members of the special response team entered the residence and discovered Mr. Martin lying on the floor within the residence with a handgun nearby. As of approximately 6:40 p.m., Mr. Martin has come out of surgery and is listed in critical condition at this time.
Martin is no stranger to the law. This photograph was taken by police following other run-ins that Martin has had with police.
I will say this much, that Mr. Martin is known to police.
However, police are not linking Martin's attack to the fatal shooting that happened on the Hilo Bayfront a few nights ago. It's been about a decade and a half since an officer has been shot in Hawaii County.
And then 1997 was the last time. Prior to that, the most recent time that an officer was injured as a result of a shooting incident. And there was one in 1995, also in South Hilo, also about a block away from the station, where an officer was injured as a result of a officer-involved shooting.
Law enforcement from around the state was quick to come to Hawaii County's aid.
We did not call the FBI. I want to thank not only the FBI, but the Department of Public Safety. They reached out to us as well as other law enforcement agencies throughout the state, offering assistance and any help they could provide if needed to help out in this investigation.
It was the end to a tense 20 hours in Hilo.
We're thankful the officers, it wasn't a life-threatening injury, but to have someone at large that was willing to fire upon police officers puts our citizens at greater risk. I mean, if they have, Mr. Martin had a total disregard for law enforcement, our concern was to the general public, having him running around there with a weapon.